Ryan Preece adds more Cup races to his 2022 schedule, Brandon Brown issues an apology to former sponsors, and Tony Stewart partners with Dodge for his new NHRA team. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I hope you've had a fantastic week. Got a couple of NASCAR news stories to react to this morning, and then we'll talk speculation, future speculation. But first, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We talk NASCAR news all week long. The 2022 season is right around the corner. Make sure you're tuned in to Out of the Groove so you don't miss the latest from the world of NASCAR. We've got a lot of other exciting stuff going on this year as well, including the weekly viewers guide that returns shortly, the NASCAR weekly podcast stream we do every week. A lot of great NASCAR content coming to this channel and related channels in the near future. Let's begin with a couple of NASCAR stories from yesterday. First, Ryan Preece will make additional Cup Series starts this season for Rick Ware Racing. Beginning with the LA Clash at the Coliseum, he'll be behind the wheel, I believe, of the 15 car. Now, Rick Ware Racing didn't say specifically how many additional Cup Series starts Preece will make, but it sounds like it'll be more than 2, which is what they announced previously when he revealed he would be a Stewart Haas development driver this season. Happy for Ryan Preece, he's going to make 7 Truck Series starts, 3 Xfinity starts, all for Ford and Stewart Haas affiliate teams. Rick Ware Racing is aligned with SHR this season. Sure, that's not a top ride, but I don't think the Rick Ware cars will be as far behind this season as they were last season. Last season at most tracks you were lucky to still be on the lead lap at the end of stage 1. I don't think that will be the case as frequently with Rick Ware Racing in 2022. So happy for Ryan Preece, hope he continues to get some good laps under his belt. Set up very nicely for an SHR Cup ride in either 2023 or 2024. Next up, Brandon Brown released a statement yesterday, an apology of sorts to all of his former sponsors. In this statement, he says that he never intended to give off the impression that all of his 2021 sponsors had dropped him for 2022. He just hadn't finalized contracts for this year yet. After receiving an overwhelming amount of hate, I've tried to take a break from social media the last few weeks and focus my efforts on more productive things to prepare for the upcoming season. Unfortunately, something that can't be ignored any longer is the notion that all of our 2021 partners dropped us after we won Talladega. This is a miscommunication that I never intended to be portrayed. After the final race of the 2021 season, I didn't have any deals signed heading into 2022, not because my partners had left, but because we hadn't crafted any contracts yet to distribute. Then, as the offseason continued, the LGBcoin.io team presented what felt like a dream come true offer. And for anyone that knew how close we came to closing our doors at the beginning of the 2021 season, this was an opportunity of a lifetime. It meant that I wasn't going to have to constantly worry about trying to piece together partnerships and stress over how we would fund an entire season. The partnership opportunity that LGB Coin had provided myself and BMS now gives us the capital to expand our organization, better our equipment, centralize our organization to one race shop located in the heart of motorsports, and relieve the worry that many of us have asked from time to time, which is, are we all going to be employed for the whole season? So that 2-year personal services deal, again, that's reportedly worth upwards of $10 million, I'm sure a lot of that money is going into the race team itself, which in theory should help that team be more competitive. It's probably the best deal, the most funding that team has ever had at any given point, at least from outside sponsorship. So that's a big deal for Brandon Brown's team. He goes on, for me, a big goal was and still is to change the narrative of what LGB Let's Go Brandon means. I would like it to become a constructive voice for those like myself who land somewhere in the middle and have views that align with both sides. I want it to become something positive and constructive, not divisive. Not to get political, but I don't see that being a successful campaign. I think 99.9% of people who see Let's Go Brandon, hear Let's Go Brandon, are going to affiliate it with the original meaning, critiquing the current president of the United States. So to try and take that phrase back and make it a constructive and non-divisive thing, I appreciate the sentiment, sure. I wish there was less polarization in the world, but it's not going to happen, so that's just wishful thinking. To all of my partners, past and present, who have supported myself and BMS, I would like to apologize and accept responsibility for the way that this off-season's transition has been handled. I've been overwhelmed with every emotion possible throughout the month of December, and my neglect to properly inform each of you of our 2022 plans is inexcusable. I would like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for keeping me on the racetrack as long as you have, and I hold all of you in my highest regards as people who stuck up for me and allowed me to continue chasing my dream. I am forever grateful. It sucks because obviously we'd all rather be talking about racing. We like to talk about what happens on the track more than anything, how teams are situating themselves for the 2022 season to try and win races and win a championship, and at least around Brandon Brown's team. That's not what the conversation's been about for months at this point. So it's frustrating, but hopefully now, finally, we can begin to move forward. Whether he likes it or not, Brandon Brown's going to become, in many ways, a polarizing figure. Some fans are going to dislike him for seemingly embracing the Let's Go Brandon thing. Others may support him for it. It is what it is. I respect Brandon Brown for at least eventually coming out and addressing it, but that's the latest from that situation. Probably not going to be addressing it again anytime soon. Now, lastly, I wanted to focus this episode on this big bit of news because I've seen a lot of speculation out there. And see, there's nothing wrong with speculation as long as it's presented as speculation. I speculate a lot on this show, but I always try to make it abundantly clear that that's what I'm doing. On this show, I usually show you guys the same stuff that I see, the same tweets, the same articles, the same podcast episodes, whatever I see, I try to show it to you guys. I show my work, if you will, and then I speculate. Just like many of you do in the comment section, we speculate together about various NASCAR news stories throughout the season and throughout the off season. So speculation is fun, and there's nothing particularly wrong with it. But after Tony Stewart Racing's announcement today, I've seen a lot of speculation on social media that has crossed over somewhat. It doesn't feel so much like speculation now, more than people just accepting something as a surefire fact. And I wanted to address that. I wanted to chime in on that today. The news is that Tony Stewart Racing confirmed today that they have partnered with Dodge and Mopar for their all-new NHRA race team. Of course, Leah Pruitt will be one of the drivers. Matt Hagan will also represent Dodge in their respective divisions. This isn't shocking news. It's been widely rumored for a couple months now that Tony Stewart Racing was going to team up with Dodge for their drag racing team, but now it is 100% confirmed. So let the speculation continue. Not begin, continue. What does this mean for Stewart-Haas Racing in the NASCAR Cup Series? That's what everyone's talking about. This goes back to comments that NASCAR president Steve Phelps made in November. Remember, he said there are some discussions that are going on with other OEMs, manufacturers, new OEMs, that would come into the sport. Our 3 existing OEMs are happy about that. Our race teams are happy about that. We're happy about that. It's been widely rumored that Dodge is one of those or the closest. I won't confirm or deny that. That was kind of a bombshell at the time and really set off all this speculation. You know, if Dodge comes back into NASCAR, likely they'd want to team up with an existing organization, maybe a larger organization. Now, when you look at the current landscape of NASCAR teams, you look at Hendrick with Chevrolet, Penske with Ford, Joe Gibbs Racing tied in close to Toyota. You look at Tony Stewart's now relationship with Dodge, actual relationship with one of Dodge's, longtime factory drivers, and you consider other things like the fact that Tony Stewart has maybe expressed some issues with Ford in recent memory. Remember, he posted on Instagram in an Instagram comment that he had tried to sign Kyle Larson when he was a free agent, but that Ford would not let him. And he kind of revisited that after this year's NASCAR championship when he tweeted, "Congratulations to the best race car driver I've ever seen," at Kyle Larson. Throw in the fact that SHR struggled in Cup this season, and that just added fuel to the fire that were the rumors that SHR could switch to Dodge in the not so distant future. With today's confirmation that Tony Stewart is working with Dodge with one of those other racing series in a completely different discipline, those rumors, that speculation has only strengthened. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Like, I know I just listed out a bunch of theoretical evidence that could point to Stewart-Haas switching to Dodge in a few years, but it's just not that simple. Look, first and foremost, any new manufacturer coming into NASCAR is still years away. Not 2023, probably not even 2024. We're talking maybe 2025 at the earliest. I won't rule out someone showing up in an earlier season, but with NASCAR expected to completely overhaul the engine package in the next few years, you would expect a new manufacturer to wait for that change. And in the case of Dodge specifically, it gets even more complicated. Just a couple months ago, in November, Dodge announced that they would be ending production of Dodge Chargers and Challengers by 2024. And Bob Pockrass actually had some good context to that, saying that Dodge would need to view NASCAR as helping promote new hybrid and electric vehicles if they were to be interested in joining. NASCAR has talked about adding some hybrid components perhaps to the next engine package that, again, is a few years away. So that supports the theory that Dodge would wait until NASCAR's next engine package before joining the sport again. I don't know. Either way, it's going to take a lot to draw Stewart-Haas Racing away from Ford. And it's not uncommon for race teams or team owners to field cars, different manufacturers across different motorsport series. Like, look at Penske. They run Fords in NASCAR, Chevys in IndyCar. Chip Ganassi ran Chevys in NASCAR all this time, and then Hondas in IndyCar. IMSA, these team owners run different manufacturers as well. So it's not uncommon for major team owners to work with different manufacturers in different series. And the last point I want to make, with the next gen car, manufacturer support will still matter, but because all the chassis are coming from the same suppliers, manufacturer differences will be most noticeable in the engine department. The engines, you know, Roush Yates motors for Fords, Hendrick engines, or ECR, I guess they combine, whatever the Chevy engines are now, the TRD engines for Toyota, that's gonna be where the manufacturers really set themselves apart. Obviously, the people as well, who they hire behind the scenes, the engineers, the crew chiefs, the drivers, that matters a bunch as well. But knowing that, would SHR really wanna leave Ford when those Roush Yates motors have been pretty darn good in recent years, especially like at the full throttle tracks, like the super speedways? Fords are always fast at super speedways. Would SHR really want to bail on that in pursuit of a new, maybe unproven manufactured engine package? I don't know. I feel like they're in a pretty good situation right now. I don't think their issues in 2021 were due so much to a lack of horsepower. I think there were issues elsewhere with those cars that prevented them from being as great as they usually are. Those are just my theories. I don't mean to dump cold water on everyone's fun speculation. Ooh, SHR to Dodge, Tony Stewart's gonna bring him back. I don't mean to rain on your parade, because I too think it would be really cool if SHR brought Dodge back into NASCAR, if they entered the sport again with a major team and a high profile team owner and some good drivers behind the wheel. I think that'd be really exciting. And I don't think it's impossible, I just think it's so far down the line, and I think NASCAR is gonna continue to change, the cars are gonna continue to change between now and any potential Dodge announcement, that it's too early to pass this speculation off as a sure thing. Oh, this just proves Tony Stewart's going to Dodge, without question, it's happening. Not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I still think there's a chance, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it's the most likely situation or that it's even being considered at this point. Again, Tony Stewart's relationship with Leah Pruitt, her relationship with Dodge, that could be a purely NHRA, a drag racing deal. That may never touch Stewart-Haas Racing. And we always talk about Tony Stewart, the Tony Stewart side of Stewart-Haas Racing, but there's a Haas side there too. It's not all Tony Stewart's team. He's just a part of that entire operation. He doesn't dictate the entire puzzle, the entire piece. Important to keep all that in perspective. It's a fun theory, it really is, and I do enjoy the speculation, and I encourage you guys in the comment section to continue that speculation. Let's keep watching and waiting when it comes to Dodge's potential return to NASCAR. But that's gonna do it for this show. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the latest NASCAR news, rumors, predictions, and much, much more. As always, a huge thank you to my tremendous Patreon supporters. I couldn't do this show without your support each and every month. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. I've been working on my 2022 playoff predictions. I put so much effort into that video every single year, so that will be coming out here fairly soon. I'll see you on the next video, y'all. Thank you so much for watching.